Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rum and Regret podcast. My name is Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussey, and we drink and we know things.
And our watch has officially ended.
Wah, wah.
Game of Thrones finale last night. We are here reacting a lot of things to take in.
A lot of unpacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Regardless of how you feel about them, things happened.
So my first sort of thought and takeaway from this, I think they almost should have had episodes 5 and 6 back to back. Because I think it would have sparked a lot less hate from the masses in terms of how characters were handled. What do you guys?
I don't think so. I mean, I think this episode was better because it was after 5.
Oh, okay.
Flaming shit show.
Literally flaming.
I mean, this was really the best ending you could hope for, given the way this season has played out.
Right.
And kind of steady downward trend that the quality of the writing has taken. But we can get to that later. Sorry, my voice is a little off, but we can get to that later in our kind of overall feelings. But what are your thoughts, Joe, on that point?
I kind of think, I'm accepting of it because this is the only ending we're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Unless,
crowdfunding.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless George R.R. gets the books out or,
Right.
Well, unless that, because, I mean, there's no really other way to go. I mean, this is it.
Right.
This is all we get.
Yep.
So I accept that, but I have some issues.
All right. Well, let's go issue by issue. Start it off, Joe.
All right, issue. So I have a list of notes, and it kind of goes by thumbs up and thumbs down.
Okay.
So thumbs up. Good. Like I dug the Tyrion was just like, hand off. I'm out. I'm done. Like when he threw the hand pin,
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yeah.
yes, okay, good. But then Grey Worm would have taken him out on the spot.
Right. That was the part that was like, oh, really? She's just
Like,
going to have him
she's
killed.
going to put him in a cell. Like, no, she never puts anybody in a cell. Either Drogon's going to light his ass on fire or Grey Worm's going to take his head off.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think because the everyone who Grey Worm has taken out has been lesser his status. Tyrion, even though he sort of quit and said I'm out, he still had Dany's ear. He was still right next. I mean, he was still essentially a higher ranking than he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think because she, at that point, I don't know that she knows what to do with Tyrion, because he's not. I mean, yeah, he disobeyed her and he betrayed her, but she's not a threat.
Well, I mean, just the fact that like she in the last episode she lit Varys up.
Yeah.
For betraying her.
Yep.
In a very similar way that Tyrion betrays her,
Right.
but Tyrion gets a cell where Varys gets Dragonfire.
Yeah,
Well-
and the fact that he basically made this giant gesture in front of all of her subjects right after she was done with her dictator speech.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be like a snapping moment for her where she just done. And it just shows
You're going to
how
throw my hand
far-
pin, you're done.
Yeah, throw him down the stairs or something, like how far she's fallen. It would have been an interesting way to put a kind of a exclamation point. Thank you.
Well, but she's, she has her audience here, right? She is giving her what I like to call a Hitler speech, right? On the thing, and I don't think she knows how to react in this spot, because the Varys execution was set up, right? Everybody was there. They had the little flame section, where Varys was going to sit, and Drogon was going to come in right behind. And because, I expect she probably had another, she had her sort of, she had a plan for Tyrion maybe at some point, and it just wasn't the time to execute it right then and there.
Yeah, pardon the pun.
Wah, wah. But the one part of that scene that I thought was amazing was her entrance, where Drogon flaps his wings as she's walking up to the. That was pretty. That was just such a great scene.
I caught guys.
It was cheesy. It was cheesy as fuck.
Thank you. Okay, it looked great. It was cheesy as fuck, but it looked amazing. You're right. It did.
Yes. I just thought that was cool. Yeah, where she's gone full crazy dragon lady, but
oh man,
still
so many parts in this episode that gave me the what do they used to call it? I don't know if it was Howard Stern or one of those other shows where they coined a phrase called douche chills. It's basically like, this is so ridiculous. Oh God. And there was so many of those in this show. We'll get to that, I guess, later. We'll go ahead and continue with your list, Joe. But yeah, I agree that it did look really cool. And I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The pan up and her little outfit. Wait, how did she get into that outfit though without her friend there to dress her? Like, he's missing a head.
Yeah.
So my next issue was, and kind of tailing off of that. So, okay, I think I got my notes backwards. So she gets offed. Did they really do the I love you kiss while we're kissing stab trope? Like,
oh yeah,
come on,
we really did that.
Don't take my girl out that horrible.
The most important character in the series.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then they just don't address it. Like after the dragon throws a tantrum and doesn't kill the murderer, they don't address it. But wait, let's back up because there's a big gap between the Tyrion throwing his stuff down and then this scene. So I don't know if we want to address it chronologically, but there was something I wanted to tell you specifically.
Okay, yeah, just let's kind of go through it chronologically, and we can,
Well, there was something I wanted to point out specifically to you, because her speech, her we're going to go free the rest of Westeros with dragon fire, basically. There was
cleansing.
Exactly. There's a cool analog. We have in the D&D campaign I'm in right now, there's a warlock who likes to heal people with his burning hands. We're going to free everyone with the power of the dragon. But there was an article today that I read that literally called out that moment as her General Hux moment addressing her militant base.
It is so General Hux.
On this shattered stone fortress on which we stand.
The end of the Republic.
Oh, so funny. So sorry.
She owned that though. Like you said, her Hitler speech with the dragon wings and her all in black. And
we're gonna go to Winterfell and Dorne. Like from Winterfell to Dorne, everyone's like
John, just she said Winterfell.
What?
Yeah. Well, no, but I love the fact that it was in Valyrian, so not everyone could. Jon and Tyrion really weren't understanding, but the line that Tyrion said, did she sound like she was
yeah, did she sound like the war is over? Yeah,
right. Yeah. And so I thought that part of it was really good. It's yeah.
Oh, and Tyrion, basically the jail cell scene where Tyrion is basically telling the whole audience, like, this is why she went nuts. Like, in case you didn't get it.
Yeah, that was a little too ham-handed in the leading, in my opinion.
But I actually still I enjoyed it because, like, Jon, I love him to death, but it takes a 2x4 to get his attention.
Oh, he knows nothing.
So Tyrion really needed to be that kind of ham-fisted with it.
Tyrion is literally a 2x4. Like, that's his size.
Right. Yeah.
He's a Tyrion. The other part that I liked in between those 2 points was when Jon went to go see. Well, actually, back up. So Dany is walking through the remains. Actually, back up even farther. Before Dany's speech, isn't Tyrion?
Tyrion and Jon are walking through.
Before that. Oh yeah, sorry, not before that. Tyrion goes off on his own. This is after everybody.
He goes to find.
Everybody's seen all the destruction, and there's that one guy not making any noise, looking for his car, like just burned.
Right. Yeah.
and then they kind of split up towards the end of that scene, and Tyrion's going to go off to the catacombs to see if siblings got out, and then there's no music at all at this point in the scene or in the show. And then, he finds the caved in area, has to put the torch down to get his little legs up to the cave in, and makes it over, and then just sees the golden hand lying there, and then just starts moving bricks. I mean, as bad as the writing was, the actors are so good. They lived these roles for so long.
Yeah, that definitely, I got a little misty when he started, because I can't handle dudes crying. So when he started, like, sobbing, I was just like, okay, keep it together, Joe.
Yeah, and then the music hits when he reveals their faces, kind of thing. It's just really well done.
And he hasn't cried in the show at all, right?
Yeah, and
this was it. Like, this was his one sort of moment that broke him.
Did he cry with Shay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Did he?
He cried as he was killing her. Yeah.
Okay.
Like she was killing him on the chain or whatever, and he's crying. I don't know.
But this one was poignant also because, I mean, out of everything that he's gone through, it's kind of one of those, your family is still your family. As much as you hate them, they're still your family.
Does that mean he gets Ashley Rock?
Well, yeah, he's the last Lannister. Or the oldest Lannister.
He's the hand, But spoiler alert, he becomes the hand again.
But yeah, it was kind of like poignant of like, he still loves his family even though they've gone through all this horrible shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. And then there's the scene where he's like super pissed off. Dany does her speech. He comes up and throws the pen. Take him away. And then I don't know if it smash cuts to Jon. Oh, no, it cuts to her going through the ruins, right?
Yeah. So at that point, there's two things happening. So it cuts to her going back through, with her sort of with her personal guard, walking towards the throne room. And then that's where Jon and Arya have their little... She just pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like she does.
You're underestimating my sneakiness.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then I forget what they talk about at that moment, but then Jon goes off to talk to Dany.
Oh, Arya says, "I know a killer when I see one."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's right.
Yeah. And then you're just like, okay, Arya's on the warpath to. There's where the turn comes.
God, I thought Arya was going to get to kill her. That was brutal.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. So then they walk to the throne room, right?
And she does the walk it's almost shot for shot.
By herself. They go through this place they just ravaged and killed everybody. But she's going to go by herself through the throne room. I don't understand why there wasn't any guards there. That's ridiculous, but it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
But you're right. Shot for shot from the
House of the
Undying
prophecy. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yep.
Yes.
And then they have
She walks all the way to the throne and fondles it.
Yeah.
Doesn't sit in it. And
she never actually sat in it.
She never did.
No.
As she's touching the throne, there's a shot looking behind her, and Jon's coming out of the entranceway there, and then she starts to...
They have their poignant little speech, and Jon hugs her and stabs her in the horrible trope.
The thing that I really liked was her talking about, can you imagine what 1,000 swords would look like to a little girl? And I think that was like a stab at the way that they did the Iron Throne, because that's like 1,000 swords is what the Iron Throne was supposed to be, which is like this 2-story monster that's completely just misshapen and hurts everybody that sits on it. And that kind of thing. But and then they, back and forth. You'll always be my queen.
Stab. So, unsatisfactory way for Dany to die. And then, Drogon melts the Iron Throne into slag, which was really cool to watch.
Oh, but before that, though, he's like nuzzling the dead.
Oh, God, that hurt.
That scene reminded me of Dragon Slayer, the original Dragon Slayer.
Right. Yeah.
Nuzzling its dead children, and then it goes apeshit and kills everybody.
Yeah.
I thought that was what was going to happen. Like, Drogon was going to lose his shit.
I was like, Jon's done.
Slaughter everyone.
Jon's fucking done. King's left.
That would have been a great way for him to go out, too.
You know what? No, I disagree. I think that would have been too easy. I like the fact that Drogon just wasn't a tank. That Drogon had some intelligence in the situation, and his one way of getting his frustration out was melting the throne. And that gives Drogon some intelligence, saying, "Hey, I knew bitch was crazy. I knew she was crazy, but when she says Dracarys, I gotta do this. Now she's dead, and so like I don't know. It's funny. Yeah, I'm talking about a CGI character here, but there was it did seem that Drogon possessed a decent amount of intelligence, and there was a little sigh of relief at her body.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. That was another cheesy point. The dragon's not going to know about the Iron Throne, and it's just a target for him to take out, I guess, instead of Jon. But like, it's an animal.
I agree.
Instead of goats, it's an animal.
Yeah, but then you're taking away, like, okay, so then on that point, how is Dany controlling this dragon when they're flying through the air? And
well, the Targaryens have like an ability to join with dragons.
Well, and that's why Drogon. Yeah, and that's why Drogon was there right away, because his connection to Dany was gone.
And that's how Jon was able to ride the dragons, but nobody else was.
And that's probably why Drogon didn't kill Jon right on the spot. Because he's like, oh, you're a Targaryen too, so I'm just going to redirect my hot fire breath onto the Iron Throne.
Right.
Yeah.
If Dany can't sit here, nobody can. So here's my one huge plot point where I'm just like, oh, come on. There's nobody there. There's Jon, there's Dany, there's Drogon. Dany's dead. Drogon takes her body, flies off into the sunset. Well, I know Jon's honest Abe, but Jesus Christ, what did you just go down to, Grey Worm and be like, hey, I just stabbed your queen?
Well, and that's the point. Like, they don't address it. Yeah. So he's just left there with a pool of blood on the floor in the ash or whatever, and then it's smash cut somewhere else. 5 months.
Yeah, and that's the time jump right there. So I don't necessarily mind that part so much, because do we really need to see Grey Worm come in and?
No, that's twice that Jon should have died in a span of 2 minutes, though. There's no way Grey Worm lets him live after he goes, by the way, I killed your queen.
Well, there's no, okay, explain to me how anybody finds out that this is what actually happened.
Well, Jon tells them.
Except for Jon just goes down and says, I killed Dany.
Yeah, exactly.
Just FYI, guys.
Sorry, this person that freed you and you've been following around for 10 years, she had to be stopped, and so I killed her.
Yeah.
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 Because of reason.
I know you're honest, Dave, Jon, but come on. So you know how this is going to end.
So bad.
Like, I need at least a small fraction of a scene that addresses that kind of, like...
What happens? Like, have them burst in at the end of it and like, holy shit.
Or show Jon being just, like, all sullen and, like, heartbroken and be like, I killed her.
Well, or you cut to Grey Worm on the steps seeing Drogon fly away with Dany's body.
Or something like that, sure.
And then you just see him run towards Jon.
I liked the one dragon claw that was picking her up too. It's like, and then he's in her foot. This one little ginger dragon claw.
Yeah.
I got you. Don't worry, I got you, boo. Ooh, that dagger's still in there. Sorry. Visually, it was amazing. I loved the close-up of Drogon and the fire.
Oh, and then him waking up.
And him going ape shit on the throne.
Yeah, him waking up in the snow too. I thought that was cool.
That was one of my favorite scenes of the show.
That was great.
That's where it's going before we circled back to Dany dying, is when Jon's going to see her in the throne room, and there's just like all these rocks and everything before the throne, and then it shudders and moves.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Total
cat.
Oh, that looks so awesome.
Yeah.
And they show that's the side view where it shows how big Drogon is now compared to Jon, and like smells it. Right, you're good.
Yeah.
So one good thing I have about this scene, particularly, the whole callback to Ygritte when they were talking about duty is the death of love.
Yeah, right.
And love is the death of duty, and how he's holding Dany, just the exact same way he held Ygritte.
Oh God, that's right. You said duty.
Duty.
But yeah, after like a little research, I was like, okay, that makes it a little more palatable.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's
there. Where do we go?
The time jump to the new small council.
Okay, so
wait, hang on. You have to get the Helvetica font that comes up 5 months later.
Right. Yeah.
Here.
Well, so no. Tyrion said weeks. In my weeks down there, he referenced weeks. So
weeks. So
we'll give it 5 or 6 weeks.
5 or 6 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. Right. No, it doesn't.
5 or 6 weeks to send ravens and get all these characters that we haven't seen, like Edmure Tully, Robin Arryn, Trystane from Dorne.
Right.
Yeah. So everybody sits in, like, now they already kind of have a democracy going on.
Well, it's not a democracy, more of a
Parliament.
Right. Yeah.
They laughed at Sam over the idea.
Yeah, they laughed at Sam's democracy joke, which...
Shouldn't everyone
So-
decide? Oh!
When did Game of Thrones become Monty Python and the Game of Thrones?
Oh my god, it's so great.
The on-the-nose jokes are killing me.
Oh, they were so... Hey, here's a book about the show we've been doing.
Right.
Wait, is this the Lord of the Rings ending? They literally
Yeah.
did the Lord of the Rings ending.
Which, they did the Lord of the Rings with Drogon carrying, like, that's the Eagles carrying Frodo and Sam off, or what, you know.
Yeah.
So, they have the council. So this is supposed to be a kind of trial for Tyrion and Jon, correct?
No, it's supposed to be choosing the king.
Okay,
next
so
king.
why is Tyrion there if he is a captive?
Because they demanded his presence. That's why they asked where Jon was, because they demanded him as well. And Grey Worm's like, you can't, no, that's too much. You can't, we're keeping him in lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keeping him in lockdown kind of thing.
Okay, so then, yeah, okay. Tyrion basically just tells, has a speech that dictates that now Bran's king.
Yeah, everybody
because
agrees.
Of the story.
Everybody agrees super fast because he's good at
Stoner Bran is the king.
We have Professor X is now the king of Westeros.
Like, okay, so, and you knew this whole time because why do you think I came all this way?
I know!
So you basically knew everything that was going to happen. You sat and let King's Landing burn to the ground and then just showed up to claim your prize.
Yeah, so there's 2 points there. One is a couple episodes ago when they were talking about him taking over Winterfell. It's like, oh, I can't do that. I'm the three-eyed raven. Yeah. And then
but
now
you can become king of 6 kings.
And now he's the meme that's like that time when the guy that doesn't help with the group project still gets an A. And takes everything. So frustrating.
So yeah, and like sit down, Uncle. It's like
that was great. And Myrtle bitch slap. That was so good. And then he hits his sword on the thing like the Monty Python. It was a total Monty Python.
And then there's a plastic water bottle behind Sam's foot.
Right.
Just.
I saw an
they
article.
Totally dropped their pack on this.
Oh, they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
they're coasting down the hill at this
point. We've got Starbucks cup.
Yeah,
Jamie's
there's 2 water bottles apparently.
Jamie's reappearing.
Magic hand. Yeah.
And now the Sam's water bottle. It's like, okay, does anybody keeping an eye out on the set here? Have we all just checked out?
Yeah, basically.
Well, can we agree that this season was hastily written and hastily put together?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like I said,
I feel like they had way too much time though, wasn't it? Like
a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. So
the outcome is really, really unexcusable.
Yeah. So, like I said, this scene, it was interesting. I liked seeing, Yara Greyjoy there, and sort of all of the major houses represented, all of the 6 kingdoms. Now the 6 kingdoms, 7 kingdoms.
And props to Robin Arryn for the glow up.
Right. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Like he long bottomed this shit.
Oh yeah.
Have a stunt tit in his mouth.
Yeah.
Take a lap.
Right. Yeah.
Hashtag stunt tit.
I do find it weird that Sansa still needs to remain independent, even though her brother is the king.
Yeah.
Are you that pissed off that they didn't want you to be king?
Well, I don't think that's it, because remember she kind of challenged Danny when Danny was there, and Winterfell, like, the North has lost a lot. There's no way these Northmen are going to kneel to another ruler.
Yeah.
What about the North? What happens to the North? And Danny wasn't going to have that. But now that her brother is the king, like, oh, by the way, we're going to secede.
Right.
And,
Well, that actually
that's cool, right?
That's actually good on her, to be honest. Because,
for sure it is.
It's the North is not going to bend the knee no matter who the king is. It doesn't matter if it's her brother.
Right.
Yeah.
She's sticking by the people of the North. They're not having it.
And the thing that kind of bothered me there is that all the other lords were like, sure, yeah, no problem. I mean,
like where
no worries.
one person secedes, so
Right.
how come Robin's just like, well, no, I want the veil to be its own
exactly right. But it was cool, and I like what they did with the Queen of the North. She deserved it.
Yeah.
She fully deserved it.
Yeah, she played the Game of Thrones really well, I think.
Yeah. Especially coming from, doe-eyed little Sansa who just wants to marry him.
Oh, Joffrey's so
He's so gallant. Oh my goodness.
Poor
I want to marry him and give him perfectly blonde little babies.
right.
God.
Yeah.
And just to go through, I think she probably went through the worst of
Yeah, for sure.
in
Oh
this
my God.
whole series.
Yeah, Jesus.
But another problem, I feel like I'm tearing this.
No, keep
episode
going. I'm
apart.
glad you're taking. This is what I normally do. I'm so glad somebody else was doing it.
I'm on it. So, okay, I've already said how Grey Worm. I'm just like, okay, it's not. I get now that you're a eunuch because you totally rolled over this whole episode. So Yara is just like, no, we need John's head.
Yep.
Our queen was murdered.
Yep.
They're like, okay, well, we're not going to give you his head, but he's going to go to the Night's Watch. And both of them are just like, okay,
Cool story, bro.
we're cool. We're just going to go home now. And Yara, I get, because she's got the Iron Islands. She's got her own people to deal with.
And she's part of the Seven Kingdoms. She understands what it means.
Yeah.
And the weight of taking the black.
Grey Worm and the Dothraki, I'm like, there's no way they're going to take Dany being murdered lying down this way.
Well, I didn't see the Dothraki leaving either. They were walking on the docks.
They were still there. Yeah.
They were just hanging out in King's Landing. Didn't they just rape and pillage and murder everybody?
Because what the Dothraki is, they don't take prisoners. They just,
they don't stay in permanent. They just keep going and grieve and
I'm not buying that they go wherever they go. We don't even know. And the Unsullied gets on a boat just to go to Grey Worm's girlfriend's house.
Yeah, and so then John doesn't have to go north because they just left. And we're like, oh, LOL, JK, he's going to stay. I can't believe I'm using freaking emoji or whatever you call it.
In my head, both the Dothraki and Unsullied should have been way more pissed off about their queen being murdered.
Oh, for sure. They should
slaughtered.
And this ending too clean was my biggest problem. Given how Game of Thrones is kind of stretched and pushed every angle of every kind of fantasy genre show you've ever seen up to this point, like killing off the main character in the first season and the Red Wedding and the way Sansa was treated and frickin' Theon and all of these super crazy, just gnarly things, and then it's all tied up in a little bow. It's a little nice.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it tied up nicely in a little bow. I enjoyed the fact that there were still people loyal to Dany, that the kingdoms were still sort of divided in Jon's action there. And so, but I mean, the Unsullied going off to live in that part just seems they're literally going to die. And it got me immediately thinking, well, God, I mean, we could get a killer next series of how they just become either insane sellswords or they just decide to go on Dany's tirade for her.
Well, he's going to Narth because that's where Missandei was.
I know that, but like I said,
soldiers there, so
right?
I think Grey Worm was looking for Missandei too.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, and that's, they can't father any children. They can't go any, seriously, what, they're going on vacation?
Yeah.
I mean, how long is that gonna, how long is that going to satisfy him or satisfy them?
Madagascar 5.
Right. Yeah.
I like moment.
Yeah. So
Ugh.
I don't know. Like that was a hard sell of them literally just getting in chips.
Yeah, just
leaving.
All right, we're done. Peace out.
Peace out.
It's been a fun sack of the city, but we're going home.
Yeah, I mean, but you could be so pissed at the council's decision that you're just like, you know what, screw this. We're not sticking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just shocked they didn't try to kill everybody. I mean, they had as many troops as all the combined Northmen. There should have been a fight or something.
Right.
These are, they might be cunning warriors, but they're commanded by other people, and the Dothraki are complete bloodthirsty ravagers. There's no way they're just going to hang out and be cool with the surviving populace of King's Landing.
Yeah. Or just, okay, we're going to just go back on our boat and go back to the Dothraki city. Like,
yeah, but I mean, it does show that Dany truly was the glue of this army.
That's true.
And without her, they really are lost.
Where were they hiding that giant Targaryen flag this whole time? Was it like strapped to Drogon? The one they had hanging on the...
Yeah. That was actually, though, that was an epic just
It was the First Order.
Yeah, it really was. Black and red.
I am so here
I know you are.
But yeah, when they pulled back in that scene where you just see the armies and the flag and the dragon on the right-hand side, I'm like,
pretty cool.
Oh, please just go from here and make her queen, and I want to see this time.
It was like I said before with the last episode, I think pretty much every episode up to this point, that every other department except for the writing kicked ass. Mm-hmm. They all delivered. I feel so bad for those people having to spend all this time on the show that has been a huge part of their life for a decade, and to have it kind of boo at the end is just, it doesn't do them justice either.
Yeah.
So we got the council, Bran becomes king.
Professor X.
Then after there, where do we go?
Well, you've got Tyrion in his kind of speech, and then Edmure Tully stands up and goes, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Sit down, Uncle.
Exactly. Uncle, please sit. You just got told. That's hilarious.
So Jon is sent to the wall.
Well, they do the whole Bran the Broken first of his name.
Yeah, Ivar the Boneless gets his kingdom.
Oh, God.
First of his name.
King Ivar the Boneless.
6 kingdoms or whatever it is.
Yeah. The 6 kingdoms.
I come to you with 15 commands. 10 commandments. Was it 20 or 15? I forget.
No, it was 15. Yeah, I bring these 15 10 commandments first. This is where Tyrion tells Jon that he's going to the Black, and then you have Jon basically doing his shame walk without the lady behind him.
The montage,
right? Yeah, of him walking through, and then you get the goodbye with the Starks, and I mean, I understand. Like I said, I think. Well, so I'm going to fast forward a bit just because I think Arya was very misused in the last 2 episodes, 3 episodes.
Ever since she killed the Night King.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think they didn't know what to do with her there. She just wants to sail west and see what's past there, which, okay, I get it.
The U.S., the New World.
Right, yeah. And so, but one of Bran's final commands, and like I said, I'm jumping forward just a bit, is a new Master of Whispers. Who better to be a Master of Whispers than a faceless person?
Right?
You know? Like
kind of like Arya being just like, fuck this place, I'm going west.
Yeah, she's going to go get her Indiana Jones on.
Yeah, but I just think that's, I think that's a weird...
Wait, Joe, you got to say that again.
Was it, what's west of Westeros? The Resteros?
Where did you get that? That's amazing. We broke Andy. The Restauros and Schmeezes. Noted. Oh, that's so good.
Oh man, but yeah, that's like that would be
Cool.
epic if Arya took over for Varys and
Yeah, I just think that I mean that just would have made a lot of sense. You know, I mean, just that, you know, hey, I need a new Master of Whispers, and just a little slight smile from Arya.
right. Which another thing that got wildly, you know, like, well, not wildly unused, but could we have gotten just one more faceless Arya thing? Like,
Well, so this is what I wanted to have happen in this episode. I don't know if I told you guys what my theory was. I did last episode. It was basically that Dany kills Jon because he betrayed her, and that's why this whole thing went south and that kind of thing. So then in retaliation, Arya kills Grey Worm, takes his face, and then murders Dany.
yeah.
And that
I
would have been
loved to see another Arya taking a
something-
face kill.
Yeah, right. I mean, it would have been too much, I think, for her as far as two major kills, but I don't know. Something like that's what we've been missing from the last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones is this kind of these layers that pay off.
Well, yeah, I mean, just those really sort of shocking moments that really get you to fall in love with the writing, and like I would have never thought of that. You know, that
Right. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly.
So are we at the small council now?
No,
No.
they're saying goodbye. Where was it? John saying goodbye to them and giving all the hugs. See, I'm trying to get to it. Hang on.
yeah, and then well, no, I think it does.
Oh,
I
no,
think,
we went too far. Oh, you're right. I think the council is before John leaving, or no?
Yeah, well, you get it. It's interspersed, I believe, because you get John heading through. You get John on the boat, you know, and then you get John sort of walking through the gate, and then it goes back to the small council for a little bit. But then you get, I think it goes back and forth.
Okay. Well,
Oh, we forgot that Bran named Tyrion Hand of the King
oh yeah.
to pay for his crimes or whatever,
Yeah.
and that was another thing that Grey Worm wasn't happy about. But okay, whatever. You know.
Yeah, you know, and I don't, like I said, I don't mind it, but it's, you know, it's sort of one of those things where I don't think there was any other ending for Tyrion aside from death.
Like, yeah, one, who else is going to be Hand of the King? Two, you know, if Tyrion isn't, where's he going to go? You know, and so that I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And I'm good with Jon going north of the wall. Like, awesome. Screw you, Westeros. I'm going to go become king in the north, or king beyond the wall.
Right.
Me and Tormund and Ghost are going to fuck some shit up. It's going to be great.
So now, he's just part of the Night's Watch, right? He's not the new Lord Commander again, is he?
Well, so I thought when he first got there, I was like, so he's back to square one because this is a punishment for him. And then for a second, I saw like he had the cloak on and he's standing on like the
little raised dais. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so he just gets to go back to being Lord Commander, and then the next bit is him walking through past the wall, and I'm like, oh, so did he desert and go beyond the wall, or did they send him?
Yeah, I think he's basically saying, I'm just going to take all these wildlings back.
And I'm going to go.
Peace out.
We're just going to do our own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Have fun.
So there was, just to backtrack real quick. So they did the little family goodbye. Arya goes, what's west of Westeros? La, la, la. There was a good quote in this article that I was reading talking about it when Arya's setting sail, discovering like it's an uncharted frontier, and it kind of had a Pirates of the Caribbean feeling. And it's like, please don't have Arya become like Jack Sparrow kind of thing. That'd be ridiculous. And that's when it goes to what happens with Bran, and that's when they do the small council scene, where they're talking where it's Bronn and Brienne and Davos and Sam and they had the really cool scene with, I forget where the scene was. I think maybe it's later, where Brienne is now the new commander of the Kingsguard and has the golden armor on, and she finishes up Jaime's entry. Is that at the very end?
Yeah. So no. That was before the small council, where she's wearing the armor and she's finishing up Jaime's part of it.
So many good memes online about what she wrote, like Jaime's
right.
fuckboy and like hit it and quit it, and
right. Yeah. Well, I almost wanted her to write in, an unknown father to a daughter or something like that.
Yeah, it would have been cool if she wrote in that he united her originally.
Yes. Right.
Part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think Brienne's arc in this was one of the more satisfying ones, for sure. Like I said, her being the high commander of the armies at the end, I thought was fitting for her character.
Yeah, and then Pod, I guess, is part of the Kingsguard also. He gets to wheel around Professor X.
Worst job ever.
Right, in armor, too. It's like,
yeah. Podrick, I need to poop.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I like how they gave Sam the Grand Maester position, even though he has no ring, no links in his chain.
I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated that.
I know. Well, and Braun, how the hell does he become Master of Coin? So he gets paid off, he gets the reach, and then he's also Master of Coin on the council. Like, that was way too ham-handed and convenient to kind of wrap up what happened with Braun.
Yeah, it's like we kind of need to show Braun again, so let's just bring him on the small council.
We'll make him the Master of Coin. Like,
well, I mean, it was just the fact that he
back and forth. That was funny.
Yeah,
it was just the Monty Python shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was the fact that he weaseled himself into Highgarden.
Yeah.
So
the Master of Grammar too.
Yeah, right. That was great.
Ugh.
Yeah. Like, and I was gonna ask, like, I thought I heard Grand Maester, and I'm like, he didn't even make Maester. Like,
yeah.
How does he immediately become Grand Maester?
Oh yeah, well, it's by the pleasure of the king,
Bran just totally up-jumped you to Maester. Hooray! Or Grand Maester.
And this article is so great. They're talking about how congratulations to all the well-deserved promotions to the Westerosi Breakfast Club, a womanizer, a smuggler, a nerd, a jock, and a self-proclaimed imp. Oh, that's so great.
One highlight, which I'm not sure if we went over. So, when was Brienne with the book?
Yeah, that's what we just talked about. I think that was interspersed with this kind of...
I think it was prior to the small council.
Yeah, that was a really good part. I like that a lot.
And then, Lord of the Rings, 18 million endings, which they have to stop. They have to show every single person.
It's a book. Wait, before that, it's a book called A Song of Ice and Fire. I helped with the title.
Tyrion, what did they say about me? What did they say about me?
Yeah, we really didn't need that.
Oh God, it was so bad. That was.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to look at the camera and smile.
Right. Yeah.
So forth of all.
A little wink with a ding on it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like Deadpool moment.
Right. Yeah, I mean that I don't know that we needed that. But at that point then it cuts to Jon heading back to Castle Black, right?
Yeah, it's the montage of them all going places, right? Isn't that when Oh no, you're right. It does the Jon at Castle Black with the look, there's the ginger, and my good boy, doggy, finally gets.
And so, the internet can shut up. I'm sure they went back and filmed a special scene with Jon petting Ghost, right, to shut the internet up.
Well, I doubt it, because it would have taken a while to do that, but that would be, it's unfortunate.
But I'm, it's great that he's reunited with Ghost.
Yep.
And he actually treated Ghost the way that you would think
you treat a companion for years.
You treat your familiar pretty much.
Yeah. And then why were the wildlings there? Because they were supposed to have left and gone north back home. Why were they at Castle Black?
Well, so Tormund says that they were going to Castle Black at that point.
That's where they cross over, though. They
but
north to their home.
And I mean, and I had assumed, as John did, that the Night's Watch was done. Like, I didn't realize. So I figured that they were just going to settle in Castle Black.
Yeah.
And just be there. And so, because like when John said that in the cell, there's still a Night's Watch. I mean, I think he said that for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted them to cut to a scene of them dumping buckets of water where the wall had been broken to try and rebuild it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So do they Berlin the wall and just take it all down, or do they fix it?
Because there's like 1,000 miles of 700-foot wall that still stands. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
There's selling pieces of it at gift shops.
Right.
Yeah.
Come visit Castle Black and get your own piece of the wall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Penny, you can press it into the for 50 cents. Wait, what? Yeah.
But the 2 spin-offs I need in my life, because I'm pretty sure they're
filming like 3 different spin-offs right now, I think.
Really?
Or they're talking about
it.
Yeah.
So I would very much like the Arya spin-off,
sure.
since she's going to The Rest of Us.
Yeah, I wish the Hound was still alive, because Arya and the Hound would have been something I would have watched, no problem.
Yeah. And then just for shits and giggles, the John Tormund ghost
adventures.
Oh
my God. It's like Three's Company.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I'd love to see an Arya show, but they're doing a prequel with the Targaryens, I think. It's supposed to happen before the Blackfire Rebellion?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. Before the Targaryens rebel.
Yeah. I thought Arya's end was funny because they did something similar with the character that Maisie Williams played in Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, I'm ashamed.
Yeah, this was a
Night's Watch.
No. This was a Capaldi season where she is a sort of a special ageless being, and ends up in a TARDIS with Clara, going around the galaxy.
Uh-huh.
So she ends up sailing through the galaxy, if you will, in her own TARDIS. So it was a very similar end to another character that she played, which is why it sort of soured me so much.
Here's a boat, or here's a vessel. Go off on your own, kid.
Oh yeah, and where are all these backup sails that don't have the Targaryen logos on them anymore? All the boats leave and they're black sails. Like, come on, people.
Well, wait, are there Stark sails out there?
No, that's what I'm saying. There weren't Stark sails before.
Yeah.
One. I guess there's been 5 weeks. They can make new sails, but
sure. Yeah.
Well, how did Arya buy a boat and a crew? And
she didn't have to buy one. Her brother's the king. And they have all the boats. I mean, come on. They have all the boats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see what they do with. I don't think they're going to do anything farther with those characters.
I think they're done. I'd be very surprised if we got any sort of continuation, regardless of sort of a mention here and there of characters.
Right.
You know.
Well, George R.R., please finish the books so we can get a satisfying ending.
Yeah. I don't see how he's going to have time. I mean, he's supposed to be doing all the work on the prequels and stuff for them. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's 2 books left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I need to read those again just so I can enjoy the series. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm about 200 pages in on the Dance of Dragons.
Oh man, there was a post I put on our Facebook page. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was the guy that basically animated all the scenes that he would have loved to have seen in the show.
I saw that. That was really cool.
Ooh, I gotta show up.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It wasn't. He basically drew it as a cartoon, not animated.
Yeah.
But man, they were good. It was like the ice spiders at the Battle of Winterfell, because the ice spiders, big as hounds, fighting against Nymeria and her pack of direwolves, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Or the Lady Stoneheart killing all the Freys and everything with the Brothers Without Banners. Yeah. Just really, really good stuff.
Yeah. I'm at the point where you figure out, or Reek is kind of reborn as Theon Greyjoy
Oh, gotcha.
in the books,
Okay.
because in the books there is an actual Reek character that's not Theon, and then he gets killed, and Ramsay makes Theon the new Reek.
Right.
So that's pleasant to read.
Yeah, those are some jacked up things.
All kinds of flayed fingers and whatnot. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Fingers and other sausage-shaped appendages. Ugh.
So the series as a whole, what do we think? Like a rating out of 10. What do you guys think?
Ooh, God.
Is it too hard to rate right now since it's so fresh? Since
my rating system is going to be the same as the drawing of the horse that I mentioned in the last where the first 4 seasons were amazing. 5 was pretty good, and then it just went down from there. So I don't know. Can I rate on a sliding scale? I mean, the post that I put on one of the pages, one of the groups that I'm on Facebook, was basically like, the last couple seasons were incredibly rushed. There was a lot of problems with the writing. Every other department absolutely nailed it, but there were too many peaks and valleys, and they tried to push it too quickly. This could have had a full season and another season to wrap it up and still have the same ending, and it would make way more sense because you'd have time to kind of pull the slow burn and get Danny's, psychosis and play that out and actually
just
have
flesh everything
out.
out.
Exactly, and actually give the actions some meaning as opposed to just, we got to wrap this up, guys. Wrap it up, box in the background.
6 extended episodes was not enough to satisfactorily.
I mean, but all that being said, the last 8 years were definitely worth it. I mean, it's the most epic TV show we're ever going to see, in my opinion. I don't think you're going to see something like this again.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, again, it kind of, for me, harkens back to Lost, which is the last epic TV show that I can recall. And also for, like, Andy, I know in the one of the previous TV podcasts you mentioned, like, rewatchability, which for this, for me, has epic rewatchability. Like, this and Vikings are, like, the 2 shows whenever I just want to put something on,
that's a good
to
call.
have it. Those are my go-tos.
Yeah, after the first season was over, I bought the Blu-ray set, which I should have waited because I'm sure there'll be a grand compendium that has all this. But there's so many extra features on those discs. It's absolutely out of control. And that is worth it for me. And I'd love to see all the extra stuff they have in whatever their final box set is. Hopefully they'll do a 4K dub.
I haven't watched any of the back-to-scene stuff or
Back to the Future. Wait, what?
Behind the scenes stuff. So kind of like I'm excited. I feel like I've got like a whole other series to watch and just all the.
Well, there's a making of episode this Sunday.
Yeah.
So make sure you record that
there's the bonus episode of how it was or how it ended or something like that.
How we got away with driving a nail in the coffin of the best show on TV.
Yeah.
Damn it. D&D, I hate you.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty good though. I mean, the last season leaves a kind of a sour taste in my mouth, but again, just the way that every other department absolutely nailed it, the actors and the set and animators, and the writing is what it is. Like Joe said, we're not going to get anything better, so I'll just celebrate all the good things. And
you've got 4 good seasons to rewatch. So.
Yeah, and the 5th one's not horrible. It's just, you can tell, especially for book readers, it starts to slide. And I think it's similar with kind of like what Ready Player One was for people that never read the book.
Right.
And then saw the movie. They enjoyed the movie for what it was. It was entertainment, as opposed to being so hopeful about what it could be. Which I think that's the curse of anybody that reads the books first, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's typical.
Internal vision and hope kind of thing. But again, all that being said, I love the series. I don't think I've ever been as polarized with something like that as with Game of Thrones. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was definitely something special, regardless of what we think of the season or the finale in general. I think it was, you hit the nail on the head. We're never going to see its like, and yeah, if there's ever downtime to rewatch a series, it would totally work.
Right.
Yeah, and as someone who rewatched the whole shebang right before this season, it's totally worth it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm stoked because this is the first kind of movie or series that has successfully gotten a great deal of people who weren't into fantasy into fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, I have so many friends who kind of poo-pooed me on my love of fantasy and like, oh, you like all the dragons and fairies and bullcrap. And, you know, now I'm seeing like Facebook posts from them about like, I fucking love Game of Thrones. And it's like, you know, not all fantasy is, you know, fairies and glitter and, you know, there's a lot of really gritty, awesome fantasy.
Yeah, and that's a tribute to the writing, I think, because this is a very low magic fantasy world, is what you would like D&D terms. There's no magic anymore. There's no dragons, nothing at the beginning, right? Yeah. And then there's a spark of something. They didn't even really address the star that brought magic back and the dragons and all that, because they did that a few times.
Yeah, that's right. The comet just kind of went. Fizzled out.
Yeah, it's in the actual intro, like in the ring that they show.
Yeah,
but that's really about it. That's all they really do with it. But I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, anyway, so yeah, it's a testament to the writing and the acting and all of everything else, because it's not super flashy. It's not your typical fantasy world. You know, it's not swords and sorcery. It's, you know, very gritty, very like main character dies.
Yeah, it's more Braveheart versus.
Exactly, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Braveheart versus Merlin. Yeah. You know.
You just reminded me though about the comet. Like, so like the prophecy
high and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, the prophecy just.
Gone.
Totally gone. Yeah.
You got cut. It was going to be in episode 7.
Melisandre just went out into the snow and died, and that's where the prophecy went.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The one thing I do, that's a great point that you made though about getting all these people into fantasy. I'm still waiting for that D&D movie, for them to do it right, or the show. Like, I think it'd be a better show actually than a movie. But like the success of Lord of the Rings, the theatric success of Lord of the Rings, and then this show, I think, are the two biggest shots in the arm to actually getting a decent D&D something made, and I can't fucking wait. Yeah. There's going to be the Lord of the Rings Amazon series that comes out in 2021, I think. It's when it releases. I can't fucking wait. And if Disney knew what the hell was good for them, they would buy Wizards of the Coast and own all that shit. And
let's make Disney more of a monopoly.
Oh my God. Hey, I'm sorry. I mean, be mad if you want, but ever since they took over Marvel, things have been going really well. So, I'm excited to see what the future holds for that, because having recently kind of rediscovered that whole part of my nerddom, I'm super excited to see what they can do with it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, what did you guys think of the finale? Were you satisfied? Were you unsatisfied? Were there any points that we missed, or any points that we glossed over? Let us know in the comments. Guys, final thoughts?
Tormund for president.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Tormund is still my MVP of the last couple seasons.
In a world where Jon Snow and Tyrion get written into oblivion, Tormund stands out.
It stands out. Tormund and Brienne.
Oh, he wants to make giant, huge babies.
Is the big woman still here?
Right. They did give him all the best lines.
For sure. Which one of you
cowards
shit my pants?
So, the other meme I saw, can we just say the memes are the MVP of this season too?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So many good memes.
Easily.
The best one that I saw, though, was regarding the glow up of Robin Aaron.
Yeah.
Or Robin Aaron.
Yep.
Because that good old Giant's milk or Mama's milk.
Oh, my God. It's so bad.
Oh, awesome.
Good times.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. And what's our exit? What's my line?
Remember, don't sleep with your aunt.
Yes. Bad things happen when you sleep with your aunt. Yeah.
Giant titty milk. Wait, is it blue?
I don't think so. No, this was the green milk. The green milk.
The green milk.
Yeah.
sort of universes are
Yeah.
All right.
Greek
Yeah.
milk, giant's milk, mama's milk, whatever.
Whatever.
You know.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, yeah, guys. Till the next time, keep your glasses full, and we will see you on the next round.
Cheers.